The United States is running concentration camps on our southern border, and that is exactly what they are. They are concentration camps.
Hey, if you don't like America, then you can get out.
At this point, everybody's heard about Trump's tweets from last week. Trump suggested certain Congress people go back where they came from. Painted as prima facie racism and proof of Trump's true colors, the media and the Democrats were sure to make you aware. The problem with the entire left-wing establishment mobilizing to attack Trump on this is that they tied themselves to the furthest left congresswoman serving. Thus, the Squad was born, and the very influence Pelosi was trying to minimize are now the Democrats' champions. The Democrats are stuck having to defend the constant idiocy of AOC and the even more insane things coming from the rest of them.
The thing that was interesting in the class was every time the professor said Al-Qaeda, he sort of like his shoulders went up, and you know,
yeah, he's in command here.
Al-Qaeda, but it is that you don't say America with an intensity.
Trump has a way of walking his opponents into situations that are bad for them. Apparently that power isn't limited by the shores of the USA. Over the weekend, the most outspoken anti-Trump world leaders came out and stood up for the Squad. Merkel and Trudeau expressed support for so-called Squad after Trump's Go Back tweets. Globalist leaders have expressed their support for the 4 far-left U.S. congresswomen after U.S. President Donald Trump suggested that the lawmakers should leave the country if they're not happy with it. German Chancellor Angela Merkel remarked that President Trump's comments about the so-called Squad, comprised of Ilhan Omar, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, Rashida Tlaib, and Ayanna Pressley, undermine America's strength. The German Chancellor also said she stands in solidarity with the U.S. lawmakers. At a press conference in Berlin, Merkel said, "I distance myself from this decidedly and stand in solidarity with the women who were attacked," adding that she believes the U.S.'s strength lies exactly in the fact that people of very different nationalities contribute to the strength of the American people. She thinks the more immigrants you have, the stronger the nation is. That must be why her policies have led to millions of migrants flooding Germany, and that was just in 1 year. Germany accepts 1 million migrants this year after Merkel throws open doors. The true scale of Europe's migrant crisis has been laid bare by figures showing some 964,000 asylum seekers arrived in Germany in the first 11 months of 2015, putting it on course for more than 1 million by the end of the year. Ms. Merkel's open-door policy to accept all refugees from war-ravaged Syria opened the floodgates, and although it won her praise, it also sparked furious backlash. And at this point, everyone knows how much stronger Germany is because of these policies.
They are coming for us to take everything we have, everything we love. They are determined to take it all from us.
We must find a level of balance, and we should not become pessimistic too quickly. I still believe that we can manage it.
Trudeau was also sure to pipe up and take a shot at Trump, now that Trump isn't around. Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau echoed Merkel's comments about Trump's statements at a news conference in Ottawa with the NATO Secretary General. "I think Canadians, and indeed people around the world, know exactly what I think of those comments. This is not how we do things in Canada. A Canadian is a Canadian is a Canadian." Yes, Trudeau, a Canadian is a Canadian is a Canadian, even if they are terrorists. Isn't that right? Justin Trudeau on returning ISIS fighters. They'll be an extraordinary, powerful voice for Canada. Now that ISIS is nearly defeated, Canada anticipates that some of their departed brethren who left to join the fight for the caliphate will return to their motherland. Unlike the United States, apparently, Canada plans on welcoming the ones who claim to be reformed back with open arms. And Trudeau thinks that's a good thing. We know that actually someone who's engaged and turned away from that hateful ideology can be an extraordinarily powerful voice for preventing radicalization in future generations and younger people within the community.
When is the Prime Minister going to stop allowing these bloodthirsty terrorists to walk on our streets, but throw them in jail instead?
Honorable Prime Minister. Mr. Speaker, once again we see the Conservatives trying to drum up fear is a way of political attack.
Oh! Ew! Dude! What the fuck?
And to round out the globalist trifecta, along comes the defeated and utterly disgraced British Prime Minister who couldn't secure British sovereignty, Theresa May. Theresa May, who's on her way out of office for failing to deliver Brexit, also condemned Trump's statements, referring to them as completely unacceptable. So, telling someone to go back where they came from and make it a better place is unacceptable. Do we really need to talk about what the British government seems to find acceptable? Let's see. Report: British authorities still ignoring massive Pakistani-led child sex ring. A new investigation by the Daily Express has found that the massive Rotherham child sex exploitation ring, whose discovery rocked England 2 years ago, is not only still in operation, but is as strong as ever. Reports from social workers, police, residents, and abuse victims all said the same thing. It is still happening on an industrial scale. Yeah, I don't think your concept of acceptable or unacceptable is worth a lot. Could you please fade into obscurity now?
Mr. Speaker, what we agreed yesterday was not the final deal. It is a draft treaty. It is a draft treaty that means that we will leave the EU in a smooth and orderly way on the 29th of March 2019.
Why don't you resign?
But this is the amazing thing. Do you think this makes these leaders look better to the American public? I mean, if the Democrats stand by these people and what they say, the American public is going to turn on them. Their loyalties to some European leaders and a wannabe European leader are even more tenuous. Our dear allies who so quickly embrace people who are toxic to America kind of exposes them for what they are, huh? We are the Republic's walls. Come and take it.